As my son was coming out, she clearly was in a rush. She clearly was agitated prior because even the witnesses outside were appalled by her behavior.
The court will call the case of the state of Michigan versus Kelsey Salter, case number 24S00225.
Tiffany Woods for the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Alexandria Taylor on behalf of Kelsey Salter, who is present via Zoom, Your Honor.
Thank you. Good morning. Ms. Salter, please state your name.
Kelsey Salter.
Thank you. Today's the day and time scheduled for sentencing in this case. Have you had a chance to go over the pre-sentence investigation report with your client?
Yes, Your Honor. I received the pre-sentence report and I sent it to Ms. Salter, and we were able to go over it. I don't have any corrections, additions, or deletions, but I just have some things to say on her behalf when Your Honor pleases.
All right. Thank you so much. Ms. Woods?
Judge, I also had an opportunity to review the report, and I'd ask the court to follow the recommendations if we're within that report. You know, the defendant is not taking responsibility at all for what she did. She actually blames the child and the child's mother, and she is a mother herself. And it's shocking to hear, to read that. And I wonder how she would feel if someone did that to her child when her child was that young, how she would feel about that. So it's unfortunate that it doesn't appear that she's taking responsibility or is going to learn anything from this. So that's all I have to say, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. I was told that the victim might be present today. Is that not the case?
Judge, I do not see her present on Zoom today.
All right. Are you Miss, and I'm probably going to butcher this name, Panayoti Kemp?
Yes, Your Honor.
How do you pronounce that?
Panayota.
Very beautiful. Thank you. It's my understanding that you're here in the Salter matter and you wanted to make a victim impact statement today.
I asked the probation officer when I spoke to her, and she said I didn't have to. If it's okay, I'd rather pass on that.
Okay, then you may.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right. Ms. Taylor, what would you like to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, you know, I disagree with what Madam Prosecutor is saying. In the summary, the agent noted that the defendant was open during the interview and very forthcoming. That's a direct quote, even though her version of the events was different than that of the victim and witness. I don't know if this part is a discrepancy, but in the police report, when my client gave a statement, she said she did not mean to bump into the child. You know, she was rushing. And so this isn't some case where my client intentionally sought to assault a minor. That's not the case at all. And so, Your Honor, my client, again, she was forthcoming about the situation. She's presented in this matter to try to resolve it in the best manner forward. You know, we disagree with the recommendations. And again, my client, if she knew that there was a possibility of jail, we would have just proceeded to trial. So the recommendation is for 93 days with 30 days to be served immediately with the balance to be suspended. But again, Your Honor, this is not a case where jail is warranted. My client is currently seeing a therapist and a psychiatrist. So she could do anger management with her therapist. There's no issue with the no contact. I mean, my client doesn't know that child or the mother. And, you know, we're asking that there be no random drug and alcohol because neither drugs nor alcohol have anything to do with what happened in Tim Hortons that that day. So, Your Honor, we're just asking that that the entirety of the jail be suspended upon successful completion of probation. Your Honor, we're asking for 12 months probation. Again, and she could do the anger management through her current therapist and/or psychiatrist. And we have no objection to, Your Honor, reviewing this matter in 60 days as recommended.
Well, Miss Taylor, I'm going to ask you, I mean, you read the parts that were favorable to your client, but here's the part that it says that you didn't read. The defendant did not apologize for her actions. She tried to justify what transpired. Do you agree with me that that's the second part of the summary that you read?
I do, Your Honor. Yeah, I agree with you. The first two sentences that she said that the defendant did not apologize and tried to justify what happened, which I think is, I mean, consistent with her statement in the police report that she did not mean to bump him. So there's a difference in the party's version of what happened. And then, as noted in the police report, Tim Hortons did not have any camera footage. So what my client is saying and obviously what the child's mother is saying is different.
Yeah, but your client is the one who's sitting here after having pled to the charge.
Yes.
And the charge was hip checking a child. Not once, but twice. I don't know how that is an accident. I could see one incident where someone is bumped, but 2 times? That in no way, shape, or form sounds accidental to me.
Understand, Your Honor.
Ms. Salter, what do you have to say today, ma'am?
Just want to, for one, apologize to everybody that's involved. I definitely did not bump anybody twice. I walked past one time walking out the store. Like, this is not my character. I've been through many situations in my life, but never nothing like this. Like, I have nieces and nephews that age that I get every weekend for my sister. Like, I'm not understanding. This went from me, like, beeping my horn to her making it seem like, I don't know. I really don't know. Well, I thought I was doing the right thing. I sat there and waited. She was on the phone with someone, like you could tell they were like arguing. I was in a car with somebody too. That's the reason I was out there taking them to court at Ypsilanti that day. I beat my horn and she sat there for a second, like didn't even acknowledge it was a whole line behind me on the main road. When she looked at me and turned away, I just tapped my hand on the horn a little bit. So, because if I would have pulled in, I could have pulled in, but it just would have been too close. So when I walked in the store, as she walked past my car, she was like, "Your fat ass is gonna have a heart attack." But mind you, I like didn't have a voice. I was coming back from like strep throat. And even in the police report, like the guy that called me said that like he could barely even hear what I was saying because I barely could talk. So how was I even able to yell? I'm not. She was upset because I beat my horn, but it was so many people behind me. It was 7:30 in the morning. Like she was on the phone, like I don't know. She's making it seem like she was just getting her son out, but that wasn't the case. She like looked at me, sat there on the phone. It was like a whole 2 minutes before she even shut the door. When I walked in the store, she was still on the phone being belligerent. I was with someone that I was taking to court. We both walked in the store and she was just like yelling. And I'm like, "Ma'am, it's not that serious. I just wanted you to shut the door." And she was just going off and off. Her son was running around the tables playing. So once I said that to her, she like grabbed him and pulled him in front of her. And she was like, just was still trying to negotiate. So the lady behind the counter, like they knew each other personally, she called her name and she was like something about her fat ass. And I was like, "It's not that serious." And the ma'am, she just told me to leave and I left the store. I walked past them one time.
Anything else you need to say here today?
No, I just want to apologize for the situation. Like I don't be in things like this and this is not my character.
And Judge, I don't know if the victim may want to speak. It seems like she may want to address the court at this time.
Is that correct, Ms. Kemp?
It is correct, Your Honor. For someone to say that they're sorry and to apologize and make this bogus story that I was on my phone, and to make accusations that there were cars behind her, there were no other vehicles behind her. She drove in because maybe she doesn't remember that day as clear as I do, because it was my child that she hit. She knew exactly what she was doing when she did that. There are witnesses. I do not know the lady from Tim Hortons. And if I have to bring my son, and I don't want to because he is a minor, on camera to let you know exactly what happened, he will tell you what happened. She proceeded to come through into the entrance. I was parked right by the entrance because there's parking spots there. And I had opened the door for my son to come out. As my son was coming out, she clearly was in a rush. She clearly was agitated prior, because even the witnesses outside were appalled by her behavior. And maybe her voice wasn't very well when she was giving her statement, but probably because she was screaming at me through the window, "You better move or I'm going to beat your ASS," is what came out of the defendant's mouth. I proceeded to go inside. We were in line. She did not come in with anybody. She was the only one that came in. There was a passenger in her vehicle. He did not come in. The male did not come in. She walked, body checked my child out of the line. I said to her, "Do not touch my child." We proceeded to try go around her to get back into the line, and she kept blocking us. And then proceeded to turn around, got into my face, was up to my nose, and said, "What are you going to do about it?" The Tim Hortons manager behind there saw everything. So you have all employees, including the manager, myself and my son, where our stories align. We all know what happened. And her story is totally different. For me, it's appalling that someone would come after a child like that because they're so irritated over a parking spot or because they're in a rush. A child. So when she says that she's sorry, she's not sorry. She's sorry she got caught, because when she left at Tim Hortons, when the manager said to her, "Leave, I know exactly what you did," and she proceeded to tell the manager, "I don't care." And then when I got on the phone and I called the police, she went outside, flipped me the bird, got in her car and left.
Anything further, Ms. Kemp?
No,
All right, I appreciate
thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. So, is anyone able to tell me who Lindsay Bowen is? Is that the manager, Ms. Woods?
Well, I'm sorry, Judge, I didn't hear you.
Lindsay Bowen, do you know who that individual is?
Let me check my notes, Judge. Yes, Judge, Lindsay Bowen is the manager at the Tim Hortons who was present that day.
So I believe that Ms. Salter is given a statement today that that person knows Ms. Kemp, and Ms. Kemp is saying that's not true. And in addition to that, not only do the stories diverge so very much, but Ms. Salter seems to have been much more aggressive than it's even indicated in this police report. So if she's sitting here lying to me, the way it appears she might be, then I need to take a deeper dive into this, because 30 days may not be enough. So I think I'd like to see if you can reach out to Ms. Bowen, who claims that she saw all of this, and find out, one, does she know Ms. Kemp? And two, whether or not she's willing to come to court here today to tell me her version of this, because I don't like for anybody to lie to me or play games with me. That's a mistake. So why don't we adjourn this and get some deeper information on where we are with this case?
Your Honor, I mean, there's a possibility and that my client at this point would just want to withdraw her plea and move forward to trial, especially if we're going to take testimony from witnesses.
She can file whatever motion she wants to file, and I'll make a determination on that.
Okay.
How about we do this on August 14th at 10 o'clock a.m.?
Hold on one second, Your Honor, please. Let me check that date. You said at 10 a.m., Judge?
Oh.
That works for me, Your Honor.
So judges, August 4th or August 14th at 10 a.m.
14th, Ms. Woods.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, we'll see everybody then.
See you then, Your Honor. Thank you.
Bye-bye.